A shoeshiner was sitting on a sidewalk in New York City, polishing shoes when an angry woman walked up and said, "Hey, how dare you set up this shoe stand in front of my car? Move all this stuff out of here!" The shoeshiner calmly replied, "Ma'am, please don't call it stuff. This is how I earn my living." The woman snapped, "You're the one in the wrong, and now you're arguing with me? I've never seen you here before. Who gave you permission to set up here?" The shoeshiner calmly answered, "Ma'am, I'm not hurting anyone by working here. This sidewalk doesn't belong only to you." The woman yelled, "It doesn't belong to me, and it sure doesn't belong to your father either." Hearing those words, the shoeshiner's face filled with pain and humiliation. Without saying another word, he packed up all his tools and quietly walked away. The woman also left. A few moments later, a man walked up and handed the shoeshiner a bundle of cash. He said, "Sir, you own such a huge business. So many employees work for you. Why are you still polishing shoes yourself?" The shoeshiner smiled and replied, "I have more than enough money. But when a person sits idle, they slowly die inside. Hard work keeps me alive. That's why I still like working with my own hands." The man smiled and said, "Sir, you should get married now." The shoeshiner replied with a smile, "I'm just waiting for a woman who will respect my parents and treat my family like her own." The employee said, "Sir, I know someone. She's beautiful, well-mannered, and comes from a good family. If you'd like, I can talk to her." He smiled and replied, "Money has never mattered to me. I only want someone with good values who knows how to respect a family." After saying that, they both smiled and left. Meanwhile, a young woman met up with her friend. Just then, the same woman from earlier walked over looking very worried. Her friend asked, "What happened? Why do you look so stressed?" She replied, "My parents found a guy for me. I'm just scared he might be poor." Her friend smiled and said, "I know a man who has so much money that you'd never have to worry about finances for the rest of your life." The woman's face lit up. "Really? Who is he?" Her friend replied, "My boss. But there's one thing. His job might seem small to some people." The woman immediately said, "No job is small. What matters is the person." Her friend smiled and said, "All right, I'll call you tomorrow. Then you can come meet him." The woman happily left. The next day, her friend brought her to a downtown office to introduce her to her boss. As they waited, the same shoeshiner stepped out of a luxury car and walked toward them. The moment she saw him, she froze. He was the very same shoeshiner she had insulted on the streets of New York. Her friend smiled and said, "Sir, this is the girl I told you about." Before he could say anything, the woman recognized him and nervously said, "Wait, him? He's the shoeshiner? I'm supposed to marry him? Never." Her friend looked at her angrily and said, "Do you even know who he is?" "He's my boss. I work for him, and he pays me $6,000 a month. The person standing in front of you isn't defined by his clothes or his work, but by his character." Hearing that, the woman lowered her eyes in shame. In a trembling voice, she said, "I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was such an extraordinary person." He calmly replied, "I have no interest in marrying you. I want a life partner who judges people by their heart and values, not by their job or money. Greed doesn't build relationships. It destroys lives." Then he turned to his employee and said, "Never choose someone like her for me." As he walked away, he looked back at her and said, "If you truly want a happy family one day, change your way of thinking first. A beautiful face doesn't build a lasting relationship. Good values do."